Hello everybody, 2024, we're starting a new year and we go to coach in Chicago at Dan Sullivan's group. The line that they put out to us was, always make your purpose greater than your money. So it really makes you think sometimes. I do a lot of year-end goals, I know these two do too. So figuring out where you're going for the year, that bled into what's it all for? I guess I'd put it that way. And one of the things that we see is, through the legacy, what does your money do for you, your kids, your community around you, whatever? And have you ever thought about a lot of that and thinking about is one thing, starting to map things out might be another. One of the funny comments was a lot of the money goes to the kids. And would you give your son $500,000 today?
No way.
Why not?
I've seen what our clients do.
How long does it take, Trish, for a typical beneficiary? I don't care what age they are. I'm not talking about kids anymore. How long does it take them to spend it?
18 months. That's the statistic. No, but the statistic is 18 months. Most beneficiaries run through their inheritance within 18 months. So basically, we've seen this. It happens. It kind of breaks your heart. You see your clients spend a lifetime accumulating their wealth and this legacy for their children. And not in all cases, but in some cases, we do see the children spend it quite quickly, and that's kind of disheartening.
What was the funniest one?
Oh, my worst one was I had a client's son call me to tell me that his father had passed away. So I was so sad to hear that.
So sad.
I asked when did your father pass away? 30 minutes ago. So that was quite upsetting.
That's probably the worst.
That was the worst one. So,
but like I say, you spend all this time and effort to save your money, not give it to the government, and then we don't teach our kids enough on what to do with the money when they get it. And I'm just as guilty of that as anything else. What about inflation, Ryan? What do we see there, and how that affect clients?
Depends on the reports that you read, but from what I saw, yes, the average inflation this 2023 was about 4%, and you add that on top of the 8% that was in 2022.
Wait, that 8% doesn't go away?
No, it doesn't.
Oh, I thought that's going away. No. So now it's like 8 and 4?
Yep.
And is 4 a real number or a government number?
And it's more of a government because they strip out some of the key areas.
Food, fuel, and the thing that I think is interesting is, so your money markets, although they are making something now, forever we're making nothing. So if inflation was 4 to 8%, some say, how much did your money market make?
It actually lost purchasing power last year.
And people blow that off, and we have clients with lots of money in cash, and they're so happy. They lost 4 to 8% last year. And then to the other side of it, what did the indexes do coming towards the end of the year?
Well, the S&P index finished up just over 24%. So.
And 20 of that was in the last quarter. 20% of that came there. So if you made, I think that's sort of the interesting thing. Inflation's rolling along, purchasing power is being beat up, and was it a record year for people pulling money out of their accounts? I think it was pretty good.
We had a lot of withdrawals for last year, and I would say the big thing is that's why you have to stay in the markets. You can't listen to what the media is saying. They're going to tell you it's doom and gloom every single day. It was going to be this recession that never really happened, although the inflation did hurt a lot of people. But the markets kept on doing what the markets do and kept on going up. As long as you were patient, long-term investors were rewarded last year for the rate of returns.
And I think 2023 was a microcosm of that whole scenario. One month it was up, the next month it was down, up, down, up, down. At the end of quarter 3, the markets were down. It was not a good place. Within a week, the market had turned and we finished up in a very nice way. So, it just goes to show you have to stay with the flow. You have to take the journey of the markets that they're going to take you on. And also, for the people who are doing monthly buying, those months when the market was down, you bought more shares, so you got to benefit.
Wait, I got a question. How many people in the summer dumped $100,000 from their money market into their funds?
Yeah, not many.
2, 3?
Yeah.
So when the market's down, people never want to do it. And then when the market's up, they want to do it. And the same thing with required minimum distributions. I mean, if you have some numbers, they change the limits and things, but at the end of the day, do you want to take your required minimum distribution in December? A lot of people do December. What if
Worked out for them this year.
What if December was crummy? What if
Right.
December was
Right.
September?
What if it was the end of September? Yeah.
Right. So RMDs required minimum distributions. You got to watch those. The other thing I think about, you say markets. I think it's also, and I say this to clients, companies are doing things all day long to try to get their companies in a better place. You got to remember that, Amazon doesn't buy the fuel for their millions of trucks on Tuesday. They buy it a year and a half ago. They make projections on what they think is going to happen. Are they always right? No. But companies are trying to get in a better place. The funds themselves, they're saying, well, who's doing a good job at this and who's doing a bad job at this? And they try to get away from companies that are in trouble and doing the wrong thing. And they screen it down pretty well. And the last thing is the market does its thing. We're very uncontrollable. We can't control time, but we see it go up and down. But it's the withdrawals that happen in down markets are sort of scary. That the amount of money.
Do clients usually remember when they take the withdrawals?
No, I was saying, I don't know if this to you, but when a client comes in for a review and I say, you spent $62,000, the client, no, I didn't. I spent 20. I only get 2,000 a month, and then they forget about all those in between pops for whatever. I took nothing out of my accounts last year. And I have a lot of clients who added money, so did I. And if that's a different number altogether than if you've been taking out the whole time. And we have people who take money out from their R&Ds, and what do they do with it?
They don't even know.
Well, they spend it, or they stick it in their money market
and not use it.
and then not use it.
I mean, you have to take it, but you can always put it into a non-IRA account.
And some people do that, instead of spending. So other than that, anything else you see for 2024?
Well, there was an increase in limits. If anybody's interested, I could send you guys this quick cheat sheet. 401k increase was now $23,000. Some of the IRA contributions are now $7,000. I don't want to bore you with all these numbers, but if you do want a copy of these contribution increases, I'm happy to share those with you.
Anything you have, Trish?
No, the markets, everything, investing, bottom line, it's behavioral.
Oh.
Good behavior is gonna get you better results. Bad behavior, meaning you're letting the emotion of the minute affect you, that's gonna hurt you. You're gonna stub some toes that way. So just try to take the emotion out of it. Try to look for the long term. That's how we run the portfolios here. That's how we're running our own money. It doesn't mean there's not going to be times when it's difficult. There will be. But, for the long haul, stay the course and take the emotion out of it.
And I'll leave it at that. Have a good January. And if you need anything, give us a call. We're setting up reviews pretty much for the next 3 or 4 months. Thanks.
Thank you.
Happy New Year.